What are three of the most major patterns for the fearful avoidant attachment style around sex and intimacy? Well, we're going to cover that in the next under 3 minutes in this mini masterclass. And we'll talk about the neuroscience as to what tends to happen for a fearful avoidant around sex and intimacy, both in and out of relationships. Number one of the most important things to recognize is that a fearful avoidant attachment style is very hot and cold. And the more that there is vulnerability involved, the more hot and cold they become, and the more they tend to pinball back and forth. So one of the most common themes that you'll see around intimacy, both in and out of a relationship for a fearful avoidant, is that if they are having some sort of relationship with somebody and there's a lot of intimacy there, they are generally expecting to be hurt by the situation. And it's unfortunate, but this is a reflection of their conditioning and their subconscious programming from past experiences. And so we all know that we tend to bring our past into our present and project it onto the present. And so fearful avoidants generally need, after sex or intimacy, a certain degree of reassurance, a certain degree of knowing that somebody cares about them. They don't want to feel like somebody pulls away after intimacy, because that just causes them to end up having all of these fears come up. Generally, when they feel like they are rejected in some sort of way, it's very common, and this is point number 2, for fearful avoidants to deactivate, okay? So if a fearful avoidant, because they do have this avoidant side to them as well as this anxious side, if they feel like somebody is not loving or kind or thoughtful or reinforcing after a very vulnerable experience, then fearful avoidants turn around and they're like, okay, well then if you're not really showing up, you're gonna hurt me and I need to pull away right now. And this is why sometimes you'll see these dynamics where everything seems really good with a fearful avoidant that you're dating or in a relationship with, and all of a sudden they'll seem to pull away suddenly. It's usually because they felt too vulnerable, whether emotionally, physically, intellectually, romantically, and all of a sudden this is causing them to shut down. And point number 3 that's also really important to recognize is that fearful avoidant attachment styles sometimes use intimacy as a thread to reach other forms of intimacy. So there's different pillars, right? We have romantic intimacy, intellectual, emotional, and sexual or physical. And a lot of times fearful avoidants very much value intimacy and depth of connection, but when they don't know how to reach it because they don't know how to be vulnerable about their own emotions and feelings and inner world and their needs, then sometimes they will use sex as a strategy to feel closer to somebody, which on one hand is not necessarily a bad thing, but where it becomes problematic is when that's at the expense or in replacement of the other pillars. So if you're using sex as a strategy to replace the emotional pillar of intimacy because you don't know how to express your true feelings or needs or open up, then obviously that tips the scales in a way that creates a sense of imbalance. If you want to learn a lot more about this topic, I have a full-length video you can watch using the link down below.